Hello students! Brace yourselves as in this lesson, we will discuss about how to name hydrocarbons with alkyl groups. So far in our previous lessons, we've discussed how to name simple hydrocarbons, but this time, let's complicate things a bit. So there will be specific IUPAC nomenclature standards that we'll be following in order to arrive with the correct answer. But first, stay tuned till the end of this lesson as I'll be revealing the answer for our pretest. So, can you name these hydrocarbons in their skeletal formulas? To start with our discussion, we have a series of steps or instructions to follow so that we will arrive with the correct IUPAC nomenclature for our hydrocarbons. And for the first step, we have here, we should identify the longest parent chain. So in this crucial first step, hydrocarbons can have extensive branches or substituents, but we just have to simply count the number of carbons present in a specific hydrocarbon and ensure that it is the longest possible chain that we can have. So I have here an example of a hydrocarbon in their skeletal formula. So let's start with this one. So I'm start counting for the carbons present in this hydrocarbon. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 carbons. So there is no other longer chain than this 5 chain of carbons connected to each other. And since we can see any double or triple bond, we assume that this is an alkane with 5 carbons. So we call this as the pentane. Now that we have our parent chain, which is our pentane, it's now time for us to proceed to the second step, which is to identify what part of this hydrocarbon is not part of the parent chain, and that specific group is what we call the alkyl group. For this specific example, our alkyl group lies just around the second carbon, and there you go. After we identify the alkyl group in our hydrocarbon, it's time for us to give it a name. So, in giving name to alkyl groups, it's just similar to naming simple hydrocarbons. It's a two-step process. It's a prefix plus the suffix, wherein the prefix is dependent on the number of carbon atoms, and then we use those Greek prefixes that we've used before. Here and here there are the meth, the eth, prop, until the non-dec, and so on and so forth. So, those are our prefixes, which is based on the number of carbon atoms present in the alkyl group, plus the suffix of YL. So that is a fixed suffix of YL for the alkyl group. Now, in our previous example, we have here only one carbon atom, so we give that the prefix of meth plus suffix of -il, so that alkyl group is called the methyl. Okay, so that is our third step, and now let's proceed to our last step. Since we now have our parent chain and our alkyl group, it's now time for us to combine those names into one whole name to identify this entire hydrocarbon. Okay, so our parent chain is named pentane, and our alkyl group is 2-methyl. Take note, in the alkyl group, we should properly locate or identify the location of that methyl group as to what carbon atom is it attached to. And in this case of our example, the methyl group is attached on the second carbon. Okay? So the formula for this is alkyl group plus parent chain equals to the hydrocarbon name. And here we have it. This specific hydrocarbon is named 2-methyl pentane, since this is just an alkane with a methyl group on its second carbon. It's just easy, right? But wait, we have to follow specific standards in naming our hydrocarbon, and one of these includes we have to ensure to have the lowest possible number for our alkyl group. So what does this mean? I have here two examples of two variations of our example from earlier. The one on the left is named 4-methylpentane, and the other on the right is 2-methylpentane. So which one of them is correct? So this specific standard tells us to ensure to have the lowest possible number for the alkyl group. So the difference between these two pictures is that the one on the left, we started counting our parent chain from the left to right. So that gives us the alkyl group connected to the fourth carbon. Meanwhile, the one on the right, we started counting our parent chain from the right going to the left. So that gives our methyl group on the second attached to the second carbon. So in this example, the one on the left is incorrect as it gives us a number of 4. Meanwhile, the one on the on the right, gives us a number of 2 methylpentane. There is no specific standard as to where we should start counting, either start from the left to right or right to left, but the correct one is we should always start counting wherein we can have the lowest number possible for our alkyl group. You'll be encountering hydrocarbons that doesn't only have one substituent, alkyl groups, but will have more than that, other groups attached to it. So in order to name those specific hydrocarbons, we follow the specific hierarchy in IUPAC nomenclature for hydrocarbons. So it's a priority list on what we should consider to have the lowest number possible in counting for our parent chain. And the first, we should all consider our double or triple bond first. So we should have the lowest number possible or location for our double or triple bond, and then that is followed next by an alphabetical order for our alkyl group. Just for example, methyl and ethyl. Letter E comes first before letter M, so we have to prioritize letter E from the ethyl group before we name our methyl group. To move to the next level, let's complicate things a bit. So let's have here our next example. As you can see, this specific hydrocarbon has a double bond and has multiple branches attached to the parent chain. So how are we going to name this specific hydrocarbon? It's just easy. Let's follow the steps. So first, we have here our double bond. So based on my previous slide, I've mentioned that we should prioritize our double bond or triple bond and have the lowest number possible for its location. So in this case, since our double bond is located right there on the right side, we should start counting on the right to have the lowest number possible for our parent chain. So let's count then. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 carbon atoms attached together. And our double bond is located on the second carbon. So as we can see, this has a double bond. So this is an alkene and have 7 carbon atoms. So we should give this the name of 2-heptene or hep-2-ene. So there's a variation how you can give the name for an unsaturated hydrocarbon for an alkene or alkyne. So either of these two names is correct. Now that we've identified our parent chain, 2-heptene, it's now time for us to identify the different alkyl groups and give them a name. So in order to do this, here are the different alkyl groups attached to this parent heptene chain. So we have this 1, 2, and 3 alkyl groups. Now to give them a name, let's identify the number of carbon atoms present in these alkyl groups. So the one below, we have 2 carbon atoms. The one on the top, on the 4th carbon, we have another 2 atoms of carbon. And the one on the 6th carbon, we only have 1 carbon atoms for our alkyl group. And these are their names. We have 3-ethyl because it's located on the 3rd carbon. The one on the top, we have 4-ethyl because it's located in the 4th carbon. And the last one is a 6-methyl because it's a methyl attached to the 6th carbon. Now that we have all the names that we need for this hydrocarbon, we have the alkyl group and the parent chain, it's now time for us to give this a name. And let's proceed to the next step, which is to combine the alkyl group plus the parent chain equals the hydrocarbon name. So these are the variables that we have. The parent chain is named 2-heptene, and the alkyl groups, take note, we have 2 ethyl groups on the 3rd and 4th carbon, so we just simply combine them in the same sentence. So that will be 3, 4, and then dash diethyl. We use the prefix di to represent 2 ethyl groups present, and then next we have the 6-methyl group, and we just combine them with the parent chain of 2-heptene. So this is the final name of our hydrocarbon. 3,4-diethyl, 6-methyl hept 2-ene, or we can have 3,4-diethyl, 6-methyl 2-heptene. So that is the name of our hydrocarbon. It's simple, right? It's not that complicated. We just have to follow certain instructions and rules in IUPAC nomenclature so that we can get the naming of hydrocarbons correct. Alright, thank you for listening till the end of this lesson. I'll now reveal the answer to our pretest. So the name of these following hydrocarbons is this one. This is a 3-ethyl, 2-methyl, 1-pentene, and the other one that is a 3,4-diethyl, 2-methylhexane, since it's an alkane, and the other one is an alkene. Alright, so thank you, students, for listening to this lesson. So I have once again attached in the description below the PowerPoint presentation I've used in this lesson so that you can download it and study at your own pace. Alright, so thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next one.